Oh, yeah. What's up, y'all? It's your boy, the one and only Switch, aka the undisputed, undefeated, uncontested social distance champion, aka the karaoke king. If you follow my Twitter, you may find what that means. I'll give you a little note. That's what I can't even. That's why they call me the king. Oh man. I couldn't even I couldn't even bullshit that one. Oh man. Threw me off. AKA the taco meat tyrant. AKA the buttermilk bastard. AKA a pretty motherfucker. I'm not even gonna lie to y'all. All right. I feel sorry for the people that are listening to the audio only version of this, but I don't mean to toot my own horn, but beep beep. I mean beep beep. I'm looking pretty damn handsome right now, I'm not gonna lie. So it's been a minute. I finally, now that I've got one vaccinated and felt that it was safe enough, got that haircut. I ain't gonna lie to you. I mean looking, I'd eat myself if that, maybe no. I mean that, is that cannibalistic? Let's let's not get into it. Bringing you yet another episode of Switch's Sights, episode 106 to be exact. For those that don't know, Switch's Sights podcast is a gaming podcast where I talk just about that. Them good old video games, you already know. Yeah. Today's date is May 27th, 2021. This is also the first stream / podcast episode being 32. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I'm only getting better. So yeah, hey, boy, at least from the gaming front, man, we getting an overload, dare I say, of gaming news, and E3 ain't we 2 weeks away from E3. So Jesus Christ, I mean, my goodness, it's so much. It's a lot. it's a lot. So pardon me if I've missed any integral stuff, but I think we definitely have a pretty good episode lined up today. A lot of interesting topics to talk about. And yeah. So without further ado, let's stop the dilly-dallying and get right into it. First topic of discussion, if I can, hopefully all these topics I'm talking about, hopefully I remember to keep my codes right, hopefully. So probably the biggest news, also probably the most recent reoccurring news topic, of course, I feel like it's gained like a huge reputation now. The Switch Pro, the the thing that keeps getting brought up rumor wise, it seems to yet again keep holding steam. So according to Bloomberg.com, apparently the Switch will begin assembly as soon as July. And, actually, just to really read this whole statement, Nintendo Co. plans to begin assembly of its new Switch as soon as July and release the upgraded replacement for its 4-year-old game console in September or October. People familiar with the matter said the new console, likely to be priced higher than the $299 original, may be announced ahead of E3 conference starting June 12th to allow publishers to showcase their full range of Switch games at the global event. The people said, asking not to be named because the plans are not yet public. It will be sold alongside the $199 Switch Lite, with the standard Switch phased out over time. Assemblers will start shipping the new model, whose commercial name is known only to a handful of people within the Kyoto-based company, as early as July, and production is planned to ramp up to a peak in the October-December quarter. This is desperate. This is despite desperate widespread semiconductor shortages that have affected the supply of everything from automobiles to TVs, headphones, and game consoles, including the Switch itself, which is funny as hell. A Nintendo spokesman declined to comment. So, this is loaded all around. So, I think at least the rumors, at least initially, were somewhat around this, but I think people found it hard to believe, especially considering the semiconductor shortages and stuff, which is pretty much bringing a halt to literally everything electronics related in some way, shape, or form. But it seems like it's still happening. So, I mean, there's that. And then I think recently, just like an hour ago before I started, Nintendo, or no, I mean, of course, take this with a grain of salt, but apparently, supposedly, there's been a listing on Amazon Mexico of a Switch, Nintendo Switch, a placeholder. And, for those that may not know, a placeholder generally is a pretty, I think it depends on the site generally, but it's generally the biggest indicator that something is valid or, likely to be happening. But, sometimes placeholders can be false. I think in some cases it can be like some third party seller that puts it up just to, potentially gain traction, or maybe potentially I don't see how it will be possible, but trying to maybe potentially get sales, but I don't even think that's really feasible. But either way, I mean, all the rumors are starting to really gain traction. I think a marketing person from Nintendo also somewhat kind of unabashedly confirmed that at least for sure we'll be getting an announcement before E3. So I think probably the likely occurrence is definitely either, I mean, potentially maybe tomorrow, before Memorial weekend, or if not, then probably the following week. Because I believe they said the intention to announce the console is to let all the developers announce the games that will be coming for this upgraded Switch afterward. So, yeah. So I mean, it's it's happening. cue the GIF. It's happening. I just, Nintendo, if you listening, because I know you are. I'm certain you are. please, for the love of God, please name it Nintendo Super Switch. I beg of you, please. This is the biggest opportunity that you cannot fuck up, Nintendo. You hear me? Don't you dare. This is what? It's been like, more than 20 years in the making, all right? Don't fail us, Nintendo. All right, don't you do it. Don't you dare do this, Nintendo. Don't you dare do some Switch Pro. No. New Nintendo Switch ass. Trash. Throw it away. Super Nintendo Switch. I repeat. Super Nintendo Switch. The pitch, Nintendo. All right. You just, it's a softball, Nintendo. It's like the slowest softball ever. Hit that damn ball. Get a home run, please. Nintendo, don't you dare. Stop it. Whatever you doing that isn't naming this thing Super Nintendo Switch, you need to stop. And don't. And name it Super Nintendo Switch. I'm serious, Nintendo. Heed my words. Heed my words or else. I'm coming for you. I'm coming for you, Doug Bowser. Otherwise, just to have a conversation. Like, hey, man. So about that Nintendo, really Nintendo Switch Pro? Come on now, Doug, you're better than this. You're better than this, Doug. Come on now, come on. I know he's not the head of the crop, cream of the crop, when it comes to management for Nintendo, but damn it, he probably knows somebody. Okay. So I'm curious of the price point. I mean, depending on what this thing is, at least going by previous rumors, it doesn't seem like it's gonna be any more powerful. Well, I mean, like ridiculously powerful, but I'm guessing from what people have been saying about the specs, how they're pretty decent, but not necessarily like, you know, a whole like sequel iteration worthy. I'm thinking maybe 350, 400. It just depends on what it is. I just want to know. I want confirmation. Give me confirmation, Nintendo, please. I beg of you. So yeah, I mean, we've been beating this horse like so many damn times. It's just I guess depending on how you interpret that could mean multiple things. but I digress. Yeah. So I mean, hey, at this point, I think the blue balls are starting to emanate. All right, we just Nintendo, just give us that release already. Soon, please. Okay, I think we've talked. Hopefully, the next time we talk about the Switch Pro, we actually know what it is and it actually is announced, and we can have something tangible to, you know, speculate, judge, criticize, you know, going forward. So, yeah. Speaking of Nintendo Switch, you thought I was gonna move away from it, but oh no. We got more we got more Switch for you. Technically no, but keeping that Switch train going. Chee. From Ars Technica, apparently Valve is actually making a Switch like portable gaming PC. So at least what it seems like is a direct. I mean, yeah, I think it's safe to say a direct Nintendo Switch competitor with this Valve device. So, going by the I want to say last two episodes or so, with the the A1 high school reporter or interviewer that almost let had Gabe almost let it slip, but I'm assuming that's probably possibly partially a part of what is maybe potentially going to be announced at E3 or slash summer game fest. I feel like we need some term now to include both Summer Games Fest and E3 now that it's this weird divide, like like your parents are divorced and you which one do I go to on the weekends? I don't know. We gotta switch every every holiday. But I mean, it really is. But according to the Steam client beta, at least looking at the code, there is a Steam Pal, which supposedly is a name for essentially this device, as well as this Neptune controller, in addition to that. So, I mean, it's all adding up. And then also, there is, in terms of that same update, it added a quick access menu and a power menu, which at least, I mean, those are things you would implement if you were were to make a Switch or a portable console. So I mean, it makes sense, and considering that they Valve has also like dipped their feet into the hardware market with, of course, the Steam controller and the Steam Link. It seems pretty likely that this is going to happen, especially now that Valve has established their, like, at least personally speaking, like literally my whole gaming library is within Steam, and of course the, I guess, Valve ecosystem. So I think that will be yet another like point that would get people to get this console. It's like, what, I could play all my existing Steam games on this console? Like this, all those Steam sales are actually like getting more use now. What? So if done right, I think this could definitely make a killing. This could definitely seriously compete with the Nintendo Switch. Yeah, if the hardware is really good, I think it could definitely like be a ridiculously serious competitor to the Nintendo Switch, especially considering, like, I think even like PC gamers generally at least have a Switch, maybe a PS4. I understand most people probably don't generally have a need for an Xbox if they have a PC, considering a lot of the exclusives are playable on PC. So it makes a lot of sense. I definitely would get one if it's pretty solid hardware, as well as letting you be able to play all of your existing Steam games on this console. It's a definite buy for me personally. So yeah, I think Valve is smart. This is a pretty good idea, I'd say. Yeah, I think that's the only thing that can happen. I really do. I think it's pretty likely. That's this also the only thing they haven't done, at least from a hardware standpoint too. They tried technically a console as well, where they made basically PCs that are in the form factor of a console, and tried to give it the moniker of a console, which technically you can still do regardless. Now you can always have Steam like instantly boot into the Steam OS basically to launch games like as if it's a console. So I mean, yeah, I think it's a given. Just as long as they execute, I think they could definitely pull it off for sure. So Steam, I wonder what would it be called. It's probably something Valve related. The Steam. Let's see. So it's the Steam Link, and then I guess I guess that's really only the term. What would it be called? The Steam. Part of me just want to say the Steam exhaust, but well, the Valve exhaust. I feel like that could grow on me a little bit. The Valve exhaust. Introducing the Valve exhaust. It could grow on me. I think it would definitely be in line with the Steam, I guess, Valve is nomenclature, if you will. I don't know. I'm curious. The mini Steam, the steamer, the Valve steamer. I mean, it's corny enough to be like to stick, but I'm not sure if it would have staying power. Hey man, you trying to play on your steamer? I get it. It would get confused. Like, no, I literally got a steamer right here. What are you talking about? It's stupid. That's kind of a pretty dumb idea. The more I think about it, I mean, if anybody can make it stick, it would be Valve, I think. Especially specifically with the PC audience. I could see it. Well, only time will tell. But I think it's a given. I think it's very likely this will be a thing. Hopefully you can like literally play games on it and not like have to stream it where you're forced to, have a network set up. Hopefully you can, install these games locally, and maybe it possibly has some modified Windows 10 OS that is, generally the most compatible with a lot of things. I could see it. And we've seen other devices similar to it that are as well trying to compete with the Switch in terms of form factor. But, they have like a very low, very short battery life, and, loud as hell, got straight up exhausts coming out of everywhere, fans blowing loud. So if they do it right, if they, have a good, fair battery life, is quiet enough, overall feels good, user friendly, pretty easy to play PC games that you have in your existing library to this thing, it could definitely work for sure. So moving on. So, PlayStation 4, well, not even PlayStation 4 specifically, PlayStation released this weird, is it an IR document? Generally an IR document? I would assume this is meant for like shareholders, I guess. It seems like the intention is for shareholders, but either way, they released earlier this week this like what looks to be a a shareholder document presentation type deal, but it seems to be generally for the public. It looks like, but either way, there's a lot of interesting things to take away from it. At least going by it, a lot of it definitely would appeal to shareholders, but either way, it outside of that, there was some very revelatory things to take away, at least to highlight a couple of them. And probably one of them is very surprising, like increase in demographics. At least specifically, they've been highlighting is gender. So growing female interest in PlayStation gaming. So at least going by the PlayStation 1, in terms of console ownership specifically, for the PS1, 18% female owners of the PS1. Now to the PS4/PS5, 41%, which is it's pretty crazy when you think about it. But you love to see it. I'm all for more inclusion of different races, creeds, what have yous. It's a beautiful thing. So cool to see more diversity within the within the gaming realm now, and at least now it's further solidifying how crazy gaming is now, and how much more it's gonna be like way more, what's the word, like I'd say interesting from like not just clearly like trying to appeal to a specific demographic, like a young male that just only likes shooters and action games. And now, at least, hopefully, this means that at least developers will now start to cater a bit more to, at least now knowing that they're that the average gamer isn't just 18-year-old white male. You know what I mean? So you love to see it. It just feels like they are like, they're more or less jacking themselves off at this point, because it's like, why we believe in PS5. Our games have never been better. Let me get my why we believe in PS5. Our games have never been better. Best ever launch lineup. So they compare PS4, Killzone Shadowfall, Knack Resogun, PS3, PS Vita ports, and it seems like they're showing their Metacritic scores, which is interesting. Which I think this is a first. I don't think, at least when it comes to that, I don't think at least they themselves have necessarily showed their Metacritic scores, but I digress. And then they compare it to their launch lineup for the PS5: Spider-Man, Miles Morales, Demon's Souls, Sackboy, A Big Adventure. And then later on, Returnal. And then it's interesting now. I think they changed it, but before they did show God of War Ragnarok, which at least it seemed like they semi-confirmed the title, but at least I think according to Imran Khan, who's a renowned porter, at least now currently associated with Fanbyte, that it seems like Sony actually Googled their own logo and essentially got like took a fan art logo of their own IP and implemented it in the document. So it's like, all right. That's funny. So I think whoever did that is probably got fired, but hey, sometimes you gotta do what you gotta do. Sometimes you're in a bind, sometimes when that belt just gets destroyed, you gotta get creative, you gotta get creative, at least in some cases to the detriment of the whole company. So I guess technically that's not official, but at least people were thinking that God of War Ragnarok was confirmed to be the official title of the next God of War game, but apparently it was cop thanks to fan art. We almost got a confirmed sequel. To be honest, I thought that actually was the legit title of the next God of War. At least I guess, maybe just by osmosis, I was like, oh yeah, because everybody's calling that. Like, I guess it must be God of War Ragnarok. So there you go. Other interesting tidbits. So just a lot of some obvious stuff where it's like, yeah, of course, COVID-19, the engagement, stuff like that. Free to play. I know one other big point that I wanted to touch on was, oh yeah, the PC front. So, I mean, what's very interesting is that apparently they basically confirmed that, and yeah, pretty much confirmed that Uncharted 4 is coming to PC as well, which is, now seems to be a part of PlayStation's like initiative to start porting some of their exclusives to PC outside of their console exclusivity. So at least Days Gone came out, I want to say a few weeks ago. Horizon Zero Dawn, and at least now I guess next on the list is Uncharted 4. So interesting. I'm curious how that will play out, especially considering the multiplayer. If will that be included? But yeah, and also I guess it somewhat is now solidifying that PlayStation is definitely starting to at least trying to get in some of that market as well, so, which is pretty cool. But I think it's funny. I think this is kind of a big middle finger to people that of course, the most obvious deserving game, PlayStation exclusive game that I think a lot of people would like to see on PC, Bloodborne, is like nowhere to be found. I mean, maybe this might be likely a PlayStation announcement or something, or I mean, announcement around E3 that we'll finally get Bloodborne on PC. But it's like every other game but Bloodborne, it seems like. We're not gonna give you guys a port. We're not gonna give you guys a PS5 update. Nothing. You get nothing. So there you go. Pretty much outside of that, just a lot of other obvious stuff. A lot of I guess, what do I call it? Business sooty stuff. That is the most ignorant, the most ignorant description of this, but all this business sooty stuff they're talking about. But I promise I'm not that ignorant. I'm sorry, but to try to keep it, I don't know, just to keep it relatable, I guess. I don't know. But yeah, this seems to definitely be this whole document, what is it, like 37 pages? Seems to definitely be appealing to or geared towards shareholders and all the business suits, all these business suity people. So, there you go. Cool stuff. Pretty insightful anyway. As somebody who I like to consider myself a video game enthusiast, I do like a lot of the related stuff like sales and various miscellaneous facts and stuff like that. So cool stuff though. I like it a lot. Moving on. Virtua Fighter 5. I gotta do it. Virtua Fighter 5. Yeah, I'm gonna stick with that. I wanted to try another angle, but I'm like, you know what? I'll let it be. Actually, one time for the self-esteem. Virtua Fighter 5. I put too much emphasis on that, but you know what? I don't care. Let's go to the next topic. So Virtua Fighter 5 is confirmed. It was a lot of heavily rumored that this was gonna be, well, I think it was either between this or that there is gonna be a totally new Virtua Fighter, but it seems to be kind of a bit of both now, because technically it's Virtua Fighter 5, but it seems to be completely remastered with the Dragon engine, which is associated with the Yakuza games, which is it's kind of funny. It's kind of come full circle now, since it's almost well, yeah, pretty much majority of the Yakuza games, depending on where you come from, I guess. What what's the best way to describe it? Some people view Yakuza as, it's Virtua Fighter 5 but with Yakuza. Which that kind of hurts. I ain't gonna lie. If you come to me about that and say, Virtua Fighter 5 but with Yakuza, I'm like, I want to punch you right now, but I won't, because I'm a civilized person. But yeah, so it's kind of funny going full circle now that Virtua Fighter 5 is actually implementing the new Dragon engine for this game, which is pretty cool. Looks pretty good. It definitely seems like there's some cool, interesting new like aspects that this engine kind of introduces. Like, at least the biggest one for me playing the previous game or the base game is like the hit physics, if that makes sense, where it's like it seems to be way more flashier now than like the base Virtua Fighter game, where it was more I guess not generic but plain, which is not necessarily, it worked for Virtua Fighter, it seems. So, but I think if anything, it only add more to the, like, I guess, appeal, aesthetic, I don't know, just like subconscious satisfaction when doing combos and, you know, playing the game. So also the UI is updated, but yeah, it's pretty cool. So yeah, there was a rumor before that Virtua Fighter would be a PS Plus game for June. Yeah, June, which actually ended up being the case, since they officially, along with this announcement, revealed that Virtua Fighter 5 Ultimate Showdown is going to be one of the PS Plus games for June. So I think this is definitely the best predicament that Virtua Fighter 5 can be in, considering how, like, admittedly very niche this game is. I think it's definitely the best scenario for this game. Is it for sure to, like, you know, get a lot of eyes on it and a lot of players to play the game too, which unfortunately leads to another point that I think was recently discovered with this announcement, is that unfortunately this will not have rollback netcode, which is generally the preferred netcode nowadays for fighting games, considering how it's pretty much been generally proven to be the most reliable and fair netcode. But it seems like looking like this won't be the case. So hopefully, hopefully get your net Dumas set up, get your geo filters set up. So for those that don't know, maybe what I'm talking about, I forgot. People, let me stop trying to be alienate people, but for those that may not know, NetDuma is this. I am not sponsored at all by NetDuma, but NetDuma is basically software slash hardware. They've also been included with Netgear. I know they collaborated with some routers as well, but basically it's essentially software within the router that is basically pretty good in terms of kind of doing the work that these devs should technically be doing, if that makes sense. So basically, an issue with a lot of online games, at least nowadays, is they well, distance is generally an issue depending on the net code of a lot of games. So what the NetDuma generally does is it lets you isolate people that are too far from you, or where a lot of problems can arise because of the distance. So the NetDuma essentially will restrict who you can connect to, and you can basically confine it to like however you want to specify. If you want to just do it for your state, or a couple states nearby, whatever. But it essentially will let you restrict who you connect to, which in turn generally will result in much worser, laggier, overall unfavorable like online matches. So basically the intention of NetDuma is to help a lot of games that do have poor netcode slash matchmaking to make it much better and tolerable. But I mean, of course, it essentially won't do that all the time in terms of like, if a game's netcode is bad, a game's netcode is bad. But at least it definitely helps a lot. At least in my experience, I think it's definitely helped in a lot of ways, especially for problematic online games like probably Smash. Smash is definitely a big one. Some games like Call of Duty is generally one as well that can be problematic, depending like on your predicament, where you're at location wise and stuff like that. So of course it won't be the end all be all solution, but in a lot of cases it definitely does help or mitigate some of the problems that like are introduced generally by just poor net code that is based on that relies on being in very close proximity, which not to totally deviate this whole discussion, but I think that's also the misunderstanding that is what started a lot of problems with at least specifically fighting game net code, is that basically the net code that is made by a lot of Japanese developers is basically within that one track mind of players being in Japan, where I think they generally have very good internet and are obviously in close proximity within that area. But when it comes to the US, where it's like I think internet is generally more variable in terms of quality, where a lot of issues and including the distance can arise. So at least layman's rough, quick layman's versions of NetDuma. So if I ever make that joke, but yeah. So I mean, hopefully, well, I mean, it's a given that it'll likely be a lot of lag potential. Forgot about Wi-Fi warriors. Let's not get started on the Wi-Fi warrior discussion. Let's not get started on that one. But just a very quick thing in terms of that. Essentially, if you play fighting games and you use Wi-Fi, stop. Please stop. Please stop. Generally speaking, for the most part, if you have Wi-Fi and you're playing fighting games, at least the person you're fighting against is generally gonna have a bad time, and you're generally gonna have a arguably unfair advantage. Considering the unreliability of Wi-Fi, and at least specifically for gaming, of course. So again, very basic layman's version, but So, but hey, we Virtual Fighter is back. All right. I like it for a lot of the reasons I like Tekken, where it feels, you get a very easy to learn, hard to master kind of vibe, which I do appreciate about these games. At least with Virtual Fighter, it feels way even more basic than Tekken, which I do. It does appeal to me because I think you only have punch, kick, block generally, I believe. So, it's very easy to wrap your head around and, kind of deviate and grow from there. So apparently I haven't really been on the online scene when it comes to Virtual Fighter, especially considering the reputation of the online netcode, but it's, to my understanding, it seems like the Virtual Fighter community is very welcoming and understanding. So at least for me, I'm definitely going to give it a fair shake, see if I can grow as a player and become the best Virtual Fighter. I couldn't. The cordiness got me. The cordiness could not let me keep a straight face with that. So anyway, but yeah, overall, I'm excited. Virtual Fighter is coming back. Hopefully, this could ultimately result in a sequel with ideally rollback netcode, but we'll see. We shall see. I'm very curious how the tournament aspect of this, since this is being very much touted to be, I guess, quote unquote tournament ready, but how you gonna be tournament ready with no rollback netcode? How does that work? But I mean, considering that PlayStation is gonna be bought Evo, I think it's definitely a given that Virtual Fighter is definitely gonna be one of the contestants at Evo, contenders or games to be played at Evo. So I've seen a bit of it, but I do love me some damn high level Virtual Fighter. Not even gonna lie to y'all. It's some very fascinating stuff that they be pulling off in some high level Virtual Fighter, man. You love it. I love it. I know I love it. So I'm gonna be very engaged and interested to see who's gonna be the best of the best come Evo 2021. So yeah. Well. Moving on. Monster Hunter Rise. So earlier this week we did get an announcement for Monster Hunter Rise Update 3.0, basically a breakdown of what to expect. So a lot of interesting tidbits for this update. Probably the biggest for sure is Crimson Glow Valstrax. Let me try that. Crimson Glow Valstrax. Kind of one more time. Crimson Glow Valstrax. Damn it. Valstrax. That's tough. Valstrax. Okay. Crimson Glow Valstrax. Okay. That's good enough. So this is definitely the biggest, I guess, I don't know, attraction to this game. For those that may not know, Valstrax was the flagship. Yeah, the flagship for Monster Hunter Generations. So pretty cool to see him come back. It does make sense since this monster technically has only been on the Nintendo Switch platform so far. Seemed like it would make sense for them to implement it, especially considering like surprisingly how Monster Hunter Rise does take a lot of aspects from generations in terms of like hunter arcs, which are kind of like partially in this in a lot of various ways too. So, but then on top of that, we also got Apex Zenogre. You know, if you don't know, I love me some damn Zenogre. It's probably better with that. Oh man. Hey, I'm a growl, all right? Oh, let me stop. And then apparently there's a new story ending as well. So at least how, even though I mean, I it's hard to describe, but at least how the game left off, it didn't technically seem like an ending, but obviously for the ending that would be. So it's curious. Well, it is like very interesting in terms of like how these two monsters. I don't want to spoil it for people that may want to play, but or haven't got there yet. But how these two monsters. I wonder if you face them both at the same time. That makes sense. I would assume it. That'd be a first technically for Monster Hunter, like facing two elder dragons at once. That will probably be. I think that's the logical, like, reasoning, if you will. So, hey. And then it seems like going by the chart, also some additional regular quests for some Apex monsters. I know we talked about before where it seems like at least when the game initially released, like all the Apex monsters were tied to Rampage mode, which of course they encouraging people to play Rampage, but now it is really cool to see that these Apex monsters now have their own quest where you can beat their ass individually. So I'm loving it. I'm really loving the cadence of these updates. I've not gotten back into the Monster Hunter Rise grind yet, but probably more than likely will probably jump in this weekend potentially. Then there's gonna be another update for more DLC event quests, and then at least their roadmap at the end of July, a Capcom Collab 2. So who knows? We might see. That's gonna. Oh, the thought just makes me laugh. We might see Lady Dimitrescu. A part of me really wants to see that though. Man, a Lady Dimitrescu monster boss. Oh my god. They could totally like reskin Goss Harag and reskin I hate that it would go so well. Oh no. It might actually be likely. Oh my god. Just the epiphany I just had about it now. It kind of disgusts me now knowing how good it will fall into place without much effort, more or less. I hate it. So basically, at least try to explain what I'm thinking. So Goss, for those that may not know, Goss Harag, one of the kind of the later monsters in the game, depending on your progress. He basically is a demon bear. It's hard to describe. He's like kind of a mythical monster, but either way, part of his like, I don't know, I guess gimmick is that he can like freeze his hand into like a sword or whatever, and then of course, if you played Resident Evil Village, Lady Dimitrescu has a growing claw in her hand, or she can extend her hand, extend her fingers into claws, talons, like really long talons, I guess. I've never looked at her hands. I probably should look at her hands more. I don't know. I mean, I'm looking at other stuff on Lady Dimitrescu. Excuse me, I am a man. All right, leave me alone. So I could, yeah, they probably could. Where I could see them like totally reskinning over Gosserag, making it taller, and then kind of implement the same thing, and then you fight Lady Dimitrescu as a downloadable event quest or whatever. Either that, or you just get a Lady Dimitrescu skin where the female Monster Hunter will be able to dress as Lady Dimitrescu, with the boobies out, and got the iconic hat. That has to be tilted to the side. I will accept nothing less. Nothing less. It can't be tilted to the wrong side. It can't be straight. No, it has to be tilted at an angle, or Capcom, we are gonna have serious issues. These are my demands. So yeah, maybe it could be Moreau. It could be Moreau. I doubt Heisenberg. Yeah, that's a lot of potential. I definitely think it's gonna be Resident Evil Village. I think so. At least maybe we might get an announcement at E3/Summer Games Fest, where we might get more information about who it could be. But it's definitely, at least going by especially previous history with Capcom collaborations, it's definitely either some upcoming Capcom game or some Capcom game that's recently been released, which at least in this predicament is definitely Resident Evil Village. So I guess maybe the only thing that would be a go against it is that Resident Evil Village isn't on the Nintendo Switch, which is maybe the only thing I guess against it that would maybe have me against it not happening. But it's somebody gonna collab, I know that much. But we'll see. And then I guess there's gonna be a Capcom Collab 3 at the end of August as well. And I guess that's at least tentatively the at least update roadmap so far for Monster Hunter Rise. But I mean, if it just ended there, I'd be pretty satisfied either way. I mean, very decent assortment of monsters. Yeah, if they put like just maybe 1 or 2 monsters with each update these following months, I'd be satisfied. I mean, as somebody who hasn't played Monster Hunter in a minute, gotten back to it in a minute, putting 100 hours into it, because it's like, that's kind of my barometer. But I digress. So yeah, pretty cool. Moving on. Dragon Quest. Let me try it. Dragon Quest. I like it. I got a little old. I got a little old. I'm gonna get there though. Dragon Quest 35th anniversary. Basically they had an event Wednesday. Basically having a lot of stuff Dragon Quest. If you a Dragon Quest fan, boy, you had a good amount of stuff, because at least the first aspect, Dragon Quest Treasures, which apparently is an RPG treasure hunt adventure starring characters from Dragon Quest XI, set before the events of the numbered title, that's also planning a simultaneous worldwide release. Which I think is kind of crazy, because I think that this might be a first for Dragon Quest. I know, at least specifically for Dragon Quest, I think that seems to be the theme now with a lot of Japanese popular IPs that, maybe not as popular in the West, but definitely super popular, at least in Japan, that now they're actually doing worldwide releases, which is pretty cool actually. Consider, excuse me, we always get the short end of the stick, at least personally from experience. Yakuza, thank you for acting right now. Dragon Quest X, an expansion to the MMO that so far only received a release in Japan. And then on top of that, Dragon Quest X Offline, a top-down version of Dragon Quest X that will not require an internet connection to play. So I guess that you are forced to be online. Well, I guess it would make sense since Dragon Quest X is an MMO, but I'm guessing there's some single player component that you could play in addition to the multiplayer aspect. Dragon Quest Keshi Keshi. That I just like how that sounds. A free-to-play mobile puzzle game for iOS and Android that will feature popular series characters, monsters, and items as erasers, which are used to erase graffiti in the game. And then, of course, they revealed Dragon Quest XII, which is, of course, the next title in the Dragon Quest main line. Let me do it. Dragon Quest XII, The Flames of Fate. I kind of like that. So I guess the big interesting aspect with this one is that they are changing the traditional turn-based battle system, and some weird wording will be more directed at adults. So adults like turn-based battle. I don't get what that means. I guess the only thing you can take from that is that it's not going to be turn-based, which is kind of probably funny now to think about it, because I was seeing a lot of memes about the revelation now that Dragon Quest XII will not, at least from the information we were provided, is not gonna be turn-based. That it's probably gonna maybe potentially be more like Yakuza now that Yakuza is gonna be more turn-based. It's like Dragon Quest Yakuza like, hey, you want my lunch? Yeah, let me get yours. That's kind of funny. I mean, I'm still sad about Yakuza though, but it's still funny. Actually, that might get me to actually play Dragon Quest. As somebody who's looked at Dragon Quest from afar, has not fully dived into it, but I have like 11, and of course I forgot I think 11 is on Game Pass too, but I've just never gotten into it. Just never have. I definitely had interest into it, but just never caught on. I forgot they also announced Dragon Quest 3 HD 2D, which is that's just if you want to confuse people that have not been in that are trying to get into games, that's just going to just fuck them up. It's like, you know what? I'm good. I don't think I'm gonna play Dragon. I'm not gonna play games at all. Hey, you want to play Dragon Quest 3 HD 2D? No, no, really. So apparently, this is basically Dragon Quest 3 remade in HD and 2D. Imagine, imagine. I definitely would probably play this. At least as somebody who would kind of at least want to get a taste of Dragon Quest in terms like what was it like before, at least in its early days. And I'm that type of person. I like if I want to get into a series, I like to just raw dog it. I mean, cold turkey, whatever. Play the rougher games, that may be more archaic when you compare it to today's standards. But I at least will want to play the earlier games. But that's the issue with RPGs. They take 40 I mean, I guess the older ones were much shorter though. At least I think generally older ones are at least 30 to 40 hours generally, with of course some exceptions, but um I'd be interested. So, yeah, Dragon Quest 12 ironically, considering that Yakuza 7 wants to be like Dragon Quest and in turn based to be like Dragon Quest. Now Dragon Quest like, you know what, Yakuza, I like you too. Let me be action based. So some of the memes that were going around, like it had Yakuza throwing like a Yakuza thug with the Dragon Quest headpiece and what I think Isaac hair, and then the dude was like, what is the Dragon Quest enemy? Is it a goop? I'm totally. It's the blue thing that looked like a teardrop, but it got a. This is the most ignorant description. It's like a blue thing, but it looked like a teardrop, but it's smiling. You know what I mean. It's probably ignorant, but you know what I mean. It's a teardrop, but it got a smile on it though. It's so ignorant. Oh my god, I hate it. Hey, but you know what I mean though. I'm just saying. You know what I mean. Oh man. Well, on that note, you announce a character like that. Oh man. I can't even. I'm trying so hard. Oh man. Okay. It's a teardrop, but it's got a smile on it though. Oh, that is ignorantly stupid. I'm ashamed of myself. Not really though. No regrets. Moving on. Oh boy. Oh boy. Let's see. 15. Keep it in line, man. The news just keeps coming, man. So on top of Dragon Quest 35th anniversary, Sonic had a Sonic Central event where they revealed a decent amount of stuff. But goodness. So I watched it. It at least generally it was like roughly about 15 or so minutes, I think. But I guess the first initial announcement was, of course, Sonic. What did they call it? Sonic Collection. Yeah, I know this is I think it was technically rumored before, but the Sonic Collection basically consists of Sonic 1, 2, 3, and Knuckles. CD, and is that it? Let me fact check real quick. Sonic Origins. I guess that's the official title for it. Sonic Origins, and yeah, it consists of the compilation of Sonic the Hedgehog 1, 2, 3, and Knuckles, and Sonic CD. No release date has been announced for that as well. So, at least definitely have a lot of questions regarding Sonic 3 and Knuckles. Where, I think at least with any compilation, like even like the recent like Sega Genesis collections and whatnot, they seem to not have the that 3 was never included. I think Knuckles technically as well, at least for sure 3, but I think it was due to the weird like music licensing issues where I believe the known issue was that Michael Jackson Michael Jackson. I'm sorry. Let me try to do it lower. It's me, Mac.
It's me, Michael Jackson.
Okay, the only time the low pitch tune actually came into play. Wow, you a real piece of work.
It's me, Michael Jackson.
Cause I can't get my voice that low high naturally. It's a gift and a curse, you know. But I believe Michael Jackson like helped with music for Sonic 3, and it was like a weird, like a lot of his songs that he officially made like were very like eerily very similar from Sonic 3 or vice versa. So I forgot what happened. I think there was like I think that was the main issue that in turn like made things super difficult in terms of licensing, or like I think maybe there's some lawsuits that, you know, locked up Sonic 3 in like, you know, legal hell, to my understanding. So I'm very curious if like one, will all that music be reinstated intact? And two, if it isn't, like, will we just get some booty songs or something? Like, we'll actually get literal booty songs. People just you playing Sonic 3 and just literal booties clapping. That's it. What am I doing? What am I? Oh man. We drinking ignorant juice today, man. Let me tell you. Oh. Okay. So aside from that, Sonic making some weird eerie cameos in some games. 2 Point Hospital, if you want to look like a creepy Sonic or Knuckle or Tails, there you go. You can look like a creepy Sonic, Knuckle and Tails. So I mean, if you're into that, but hey, if you want that creepy factor to turn up like 2 notches, fuck it, 10 to be honest. You could play Sonic in Olympic Games Tokyo 2020, where you can look like yet another weird ass Sonic or person dressed in a Sonic outfit, but he can go fast, and they give him all the speed effects, and you know it showed that video was funny as hell. Like showed Sonic and or whoever, some weird person in costume under Sonic knocking somebody out, like playing boxing. Sonic dunking on people in you know, basketball. I don't know, man. I mean, hey, if that's your thing though, if you into weird, creepy Sonic dressed people, hey, play some 2 Point Hospital in Olympic Games Tokyo 2020. if that tickles your fancy, if what I said, if all of what I said was like, oh, actually I do love creepy looking Sonic people. Actually, oh, you sold me on that. I'm playing it right now. So, yeah. And then, you know, if you hate yourself, you can also stream Sonic Mania, Sonic Forces, and Team Sonic Racing on Amazon Luna and PS Now. If you if you want to go fast, but not really, because there's like maybe like 3 milliseconds of lag, hey, Amazon Luna and PS Now got your back. if you if you want to go fast but want to think about it too, so you technically not going fast, hey, Amazon Luna and PS Now got you. I'm being ignorant as well. I mean, it's been a minute since I played PS Now, but man, that experience was noticeably laggy, and just as somebody, you know, who plays generally high Twitch games and stuff like that, I will notice lag like instantly. And I was playing like Earth Defense Force, which maybe is not the most critical game when it comes to lag, but it's noticeable. Like it's just noticeable. That's all, the only thing I could tell you. It's of course, playable, but just to me it's like, ugh, it's kind of disgusting. I don't really like it. I love me some responsiveness, okay? I like when I push X, I want them to do something. I don't want to push X and then like 2 seconds later, then they do something. Ugh, disgusting. Get it away from me. But I digress. Sonic mobile game events. You can play as Super Sonic in Sonic Forces. And then for Sonic Dash, you can be a pirate themed character. If hey, there's that one person's like, I would get into Sonic Dash, but these pirate themed characters, it it doesn't have any pirate themed characters. I mean, how you how you gonna make a Sonic Dash game without pirate themed characters? What is? Get this trash out of my face. Huh. Well, hey, if you've been waiting on it, what the one person that is, hey, your prayers have been answered, sir. Ma'am, sir, ma'am, your prayers have been answered. Uh I'm just literally thinking in my head, some dude is like legitimately mad and frustrated that of all games, Sonic Dash on mobile doesn't have pirate themed characters. Oh, I'm trying. I'm holding it back. Sonic Racing is will add classic characters, cards, tracks, and get this. Hey, hey, probably that same dude that's mad about not having pirate themed characters. Hey, you know what we got for you? We got a Werehog. Werehog from that one horrible Sonic game. What was it? Sonic Unleashed, I think. Hey, we got Werehog for you. The two people that have been waiting for Werehog in Sonic Racing. Oh no, my bad. Sonic Forces and Dash. Hey, your prayers have been answered. Oh man. This is horrible. And then they also had updates for Sonic Prime, which I guess is going to be the Netflix show for Sonic as well. I think Sonic Colors Ultimate was also revealed as a remaster of Sonic, the original Sonic Colors. Also, so hey, and I believe these are made by the same people that remade Mass Effect Legendary Edition, or we're basically under remaking Mass Effect Legendary Edition. So then Sonic Colors Rise of the Wisp, which is another animated series. It doesn't say where this will be, though. It's a 2-part animated series that will feature longtime Sonic voice actor Roger Craig Smith. So I guess recently he departed. I guess he was saying he was no longer doing Sonic, but then he then rejoined to do the role now. So cool. Oh, I forgot. Of course, probably the biggest. I forgot about the Sonic. They actually teased a new Sonic that's coming in 2022, but it was just a very brief teaser trailer. Sonic just running, and it looked digital, and that's it. And it looks like it could be interpreted a lot of ways. It showed some icon, which I think maybe could be infinity symbol, maybe. This is I don't know. Either way, a new Sonic game coming out 2022. So if you thought Sonic was gone, you shut up, because he's not. He's here to stay. All right. And then, of course, the biggest takeaway, at least for me, because I'm black. And I think they said it in their, what did they say? They said it in their, was it hip hop culture? I think the narrator literally said it. um, which is, I don't know how I feel about that, but basically, wow, yeah, the narrator said, the necklaces are for fans. The fans dialed into hip hop culture. It's like, come on, man, really? Like, anybody could wear these. Why does it gotta be hip hop culture? Ugh. That's a whole nother tangent we could get on, but I'm not. Um, but yeah, so they revealed Sonic chains. Is that the, I forgot what they called it. Is that the official? Either way, it's Sonic chains. So if you know Drake, I know you play Sonic. Don't lie. Hey, what little Yachty? Hey, you know, hey, I know you. I'm totally ignorant. I'm not even telling these. Don't even know these people are like gamers like that. But either way, it's so random, to be honest. The more I'm thinking about it, it's super random. But basically, gold chains for that of Sonic, Tails, Shadow, and Knuckles. So hey, if you see me on the street and I got all these chains, talk to me nice. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. These are kind of cool though, but I still don't know how to feel about that. I'm pretty, yeah, the narrator literally said the necklaces are for fans styled into hip hop culture. It's like, you didn't even need to say that. You just could have. Yeah, I don't know. That really made me feel some type of way, man. I'm not even gonna lie. The more I'm thinking about it now, but well, you know. Either way, there's Twitter as always, just going crazy with it. So somebody put up a picture of Uncut Gems, Adam Sandler's character. I forgot his name, but he got the chain with Sonic. Probably showing it to Kevin Garnett. He's like, hey, this is real shit right here, man. This is real shit, KG. Hey, that's my impression. But I mean, it does appeal to me though. But I mean, I don't want to be put in this box of hip hop culture. That's my issue. But I digress. So I mean, what Drake, Wiz Khalifa, Thundercat. Hey, this is basically to you because we ain't all got it like that. I mean, I love Sonic. I am a fan, but I don't. I ain't that much of a fan. I ain't getting no diamond. Apparently, this is diamond. Excuse me, not gold, but diamond. I don't know if I love Sonic that much, but again, if you see me with all these chains on, talk to me nice. That's all I'm saying. So, yeah. So that, like, I'm still kind of in disbelief. This literally happened at a Sonic event, for hip hop culture. Why? Well, fans dialed into hip hop culture. I Somebody need to talk with whoever thought that was a good idea. I digress. I digress so hard right now. I am digressing so damn hard right now. Woosah. Woosah. Yeah, so oh my god. We live in a society. We live in a society. So yeah, that was the Sonic Central stream. For, yeah, if you it's catered towards, if you're a fan dialed into hip hop culture, we had something for you too. So yeah, I am am leaving that alone. I am so leaving that alone. Moving on. Square Enix has announced my bad, a rumor. This is a rumor, so of course, grain of salt. But Square Enix is set to announce a new action RPG Final Fantasy spinoff. So in my head, I'm thinking like, so is this what, Final Fantasy Versus 16 was gonna be before it wasn't, and it's 15? Who knows? This apparently isn't. This is like a literal spin-off. This isn't, I guess, then I think what technically would be Final Fantasy 16, which technically is gonna be more actiony than I think even Final Fantasy 7 remake. So this is a legit like action RPG. So I'm definitely interested though. My attention is grabbed. I do like I'm saying this as somebody who's literally only played Final Fantasy 7 of the Final Fantasy lineage of games, but I mean, I'm still interested though. That gameplay is good and tight. I mean, I play it. I totally would. So, yeah. Yeah, I think there's really yeah, I know there's some speculation. Well, no, yeah, because it's a legit spin-off, but would that, does it mean it's a spin-off of an existing Final Fantasy game? Or is it just its own thing? I would assume it has to be a spin-off of one of the existing IPs, I would assume. I mean, there's too many iconic Final Fantasy games that resonate with people that haven't been brought into like a recent, space or updated or, remastered necessarily, that would definitely benefit from this treatment. And spin off, I find it hard to believe it would just be a legit original Final Fantasy game that doesn't have any ties to any of the, what we have 15 Final Fantasy games. I find it hard to believe that it would not like directly spin off of one of the older Final Fantasy games. So that's at least my suspicion or prediction, that it's definitely going to be. I feel like what your favorite Final Fantasy is like a very controversial question, I think, to a lot of people. I think depending on who you talk to, but because at least from my knowledge, like the most popular Final Fantasy, or people's general favorite Final Fantasy games, from what I've heard, it's either 7, 6, 9, or 10. Those are generally the top ones I hear the most often, I think. So I feel like it's got to be one of those. I feel like what will be probably the most beneficial potentially might be 6, considering it's the oldest out of the list of Final Fantasy games I mentioned. So, but I definitely think it's going to be spun off of, maybe, I would assume it'd be one of the games that have not been spun off already in some shape or some way, shape, or form. So I'm down for it though. I love me some action RPGs. So my attention is grabbed. I know that much. I know that much. Moving on. Do you remember Skull and Bones? You probably don't. But for those that may not know, Skull and Bones was basically the Assassin's Creed 4 mini game spun off into its own original game itself, which, at least the prospect, considering loving the boat ship mini game in in Assassin's Creed 4, I was definitely looking forward to Skull and Bones, but it seems like this has been having a very rocky road in terms of development, because I think this was technically supposed to come out as early as 2018, I believe. I could be wrong, but it was either 2018 or 2019. But basically, it seems like they fully scrapped everything and are basically um, starting from scratch, it seems like. So it's unfortunate, because I definitely would. This was definitely on my radar, at least for at least enjoying the ship combat from Assassin's Creed 4. So it's unfortunate. I'm looking to see if there was like a definitive reason. At least we'll read this statement from GameLuster.com. According to a source familiar with inner workings at Ubisoft who is asked not to be identified, the ship combat adventure Skull and Bones had to restart development from scratch a second time just a few months ago. In their string of actions to combat sexual harassment allegations this past year, Ubisoft removed the managing director at their Singapore studio who was developing Skull and Bones. Okay. Our sources told us that around the same time Skull and Bones was brought back to the drawing room table and had to begin work from the ground up. Game Luster was not able to confirm if these two events were directly connected. Our sources told us that the new alpha build is very similar to Microsoft's popular multiplayer prior game Sea of Thieves and uses the first-person POV in the ship, but turns to third person when you exit the ship. They also said that this game is in pretty early stages right now and even is using many untextured boxes, so there's no way it'll be done in time for 2021 launch and likely not even 2022. Damn. I think this was this one of the games I have not even checked my fantasy game critic in a while, but actually let me do a live check real quick, because oh boy. Watch it be one of the games I actually drafted in my okay, well, at least I did it. But at least I did it. Okay. Well, I feel bad for whoever did. I know somebody did if I didn't. But so yeah, Skull and Bones is no longer, well, not it's not canceled. It's just back to the drawing board in what purgatory until we actually see more about it. So hope it does, hey, this could be the next Resident Evil 4. You never know. Resident Evil 4 had a very troubled development and, had to literally scratch everything and go back to the drawing board, and is literally one of my favorite games of all time. So don't give up. Don't give up hope. Don't give up. Stop it. Do not. I don't know who I'm talking to. Ubisoft. Stop. Don't give up. Don't give up. Okay. Next topic. So this is a topic that is I think I guess depending on who you ask is a very I think surprisingly controversial for some reason. I don't know. I don't think it's that huge of a deal or that big of a deal, but let's talk about Twitch and pools and hot tubs and beaches. So recently, I think this or last week, Twitch implemented a hot tub, pools, hot tub, and beaches category now for similar to like in real life and at least the one I'm on, podcasts, talk shows, whatever. So at least now or before things got a little weird. I mean, admittedly, as well as somebody kind of on the outside looking in, where it caught on like wildfire. It caught on like wildfire. I feel like what's her name? Ain't nobody got time for that. Where basically how do I even describe this? A lot of generally women streamers. I've not necessarily seen a lot of man streamers doing this. But generally women streamers were starting to resort to streaming from hot tubs, which at least for me looking in seemed what's the word, not counterintuitive, but oh yeah, I forgot. They called it a meta, a hot tub meta, which when you kind of think about it, I mean, depending on what you ask, it's kind of it is the strongest, most OP thing in when it comes to Twitch. Again, depending on who you ask, but I think generally speaking, I mean, I think was somewhat of a monopoly at the time, where I think it was captivating a lot of Twitch viewers to look at those streams and go over those compared to other people that weren't in hot tubs, weren't women necessarily, or immensely attractive, I guess. But I think it just it complicated a lot of stuff, at least from my end, in terms of like my interpretation of the whole thing. Totally fine with women who are attractive, sexy, even, doing their thing. I don't think that's an issue. I think the biggest issue about it is the fact that it could definitely be seen as not safe for work in some scenarios where, which is kind of unfortunate because some women are, I guess more gifted than others when it comes to I am dancing around this so hard. Certain aspects. But again, it's not really their fault. You know what I mean? It's like, I forgot, Twitch had an official statement about it, actually. It's probably maybe more conducive to read that specifically from their end. It's a lot, actually. I'm not going to read all this. This is very long. I don't got the time for it. But essentially is that, it's up to you in terms of how you interpret women streamers and their attractiveness and stuff like that. So, which is valid, understandable. But I think at least, let's say somebody who's just, browsing around for videos, whatever, I think it does get a little dicey, especially I guess if you're one of the employees that even allows watching Twitch from work, but where you just trying to look at Magic together, and then you Cindy Two Pops. I hope that is not an existing streamer. I am like being random as hell right now. They're like, in their swimwear, playing, and just and then Bob starts feeling funny, I guess. I don't know. I don't know how this works. Either way, I think them now doing categories specifically for this does make sense, especially I think from an advertising standpoint as well, because I think a lot of advertisers were starting to have issues, like, I guess, advertising content like this that is kind of somewhat suggestive in some aspects, so I understand that. But I do like now that it's categorized. So like, hey, if you into that, by all means, there you go. And on top of that, they did add for a lot of other people too, a lot of other tags as well. So like, if you're black, if you're trans, if you're bi and stuff like that, which is really cool too. I'm kind of concerned in some aspects where that could be potentially, depending on how it's implemented, could be like, I don't know, hate targeting in some cases, where it's like, I don't know, if you're just some spiteful dude that just is like, let me see all the people with the black tag. Let me be racist or something. I don't know. That's at least what I'm thinking. I don't know. Totally, maybe not be irrelevant. But either way, I am totally fine with the platform having this. I mean, Twitch is just expanding in a lot of ways, and a lot of people are getting a lot of things out of Twitch that may not be necessarily game related, which I'm all for, and creativity and expanding your horizons, all that good stuff. So I think this is definitely seems to be the best solution to mitigate at least some people having issues with it. I know children too that like watch streams where little Billy, maybe maybe going through puberty and might be feeling a little weird. Feeling a little weird, I guess. I don't know. But hey, I'm all for it. I mean, I think it's totally fine. It's just I think the funneling and direction of it was, I think, my issue with it. But now that it's kind of mitigated to be more controllable, I guess, technically, I think it is at least more fair in that aspect. So I've probably been dancing around a lot of stuff because it is very vague in a lot of ways in terms of how people are interpreting it, but at least trying to give my 2 cents on it. Hopefully I did a good job. I'm sorry either way. But yeah, with that being said, that at least concludes all the news for this episode. So now let's get into what I've been playing. So what I have been playing, you already know. Mass Effect Legendary Edition. Beat Mass Effect 1. It's pretty good, pretty fulfilling. I think generally is a very, very welcome improvement to the original game on a 360 for sure. A lot of the improvements made it way more enjoyable, engaging, and playing it this time definitely felt much better. I guess spoilers for Mass Effect Legendary Edition, but it was one aspect I'm not sure I did before, but was very fulfilling now. Was basically towards the end of the game. I think if you get your Charm and or Intimidate skill all the way up, I don't think I ever knew that you could convince Saren to shoot himself. And that's what I did. And I was like, oh, hell yeah, this is cool. I was curious. I don't remember the boss fight, if you fight him technically twice, if you're not able to convince him, or if that he, either way, he generally shoots himself or gets shot by somebody. I don't know. Either way, it was dope as hell. I have to probably, look up a FAQ or something, see if what was possible in that scenario. But part of me just wants to keep that head canon that, like, oh man, I didn't know you could make him shoot himself before. But it was something that was very weirdly, oddly fulfilling about that for some reason. That, like, man, I'm so charming. I convinced the bad guy to shoot himself. But yeah, so that was pretty cool. But then he got back up, and I was like, a part of me was like, hey, if he shoots himself and, like, I don't do a boss fight, that's good enough for me. I'm totally fulfilled by that, because just the fact that, like, all this work I was doing for my skills and him just killing himself, I'm like, that's pretty great. I'm totally fine with that. But unfortunately, he got back up. Well, controlled by the Reaper Sovereign, so had to kill him again. At least with my own hands. And Rex and Garrus's, but killed him again, And then, they did that fake out at the end where I was like, oh no, Shepard is dead. I forgot what happened. I was like, do I get like fucked up in this one and then I get like cybernetically enhanced in the second one? But that wasn't the case. So either way, had a great experience with the first one. Shortly after, hopped on at two. Two was really good, man. At least, especially the initial part, like you start off just your whole ship is in disarray, getting destroyed and whatnot, and then now you have to make your way back, or kind of pick up the pieces all over again. You technically died and were cybernetically enhanced, brought back now, which is just cool of itself, but playing one of the, I guess, debatably one of the best games of all time, and it does feel like that. Just recruiting people, the gunplay feels good. It's a bit of an adjustment coming from the first one, since there wasn't any ammo in the first one. It was just cooldown with your weapons. Now there's ammo, which kind of sucks. Like I was using my heavy pistol since I think the class I chose was Vanguard, which lets you charge people, and you can't use assault rifles, which kind of is annoying now after the fact, because part of me wishes I'm able to use assault rifles. I'm not sure if you can gain that ability or maybe possibly change your class, because I kind of wanted to, but either way, just the adjustment. But the gameplay does feel good. Dialogue, commentary does feel great, and I'm starting to see why this is one of the considered one of the best games of all time, because it's definitely sure as hell feeling like it. So I just saved Garrus, or got him on a team, and unfortunate events happen, but Garrus is with me again. We are back together. Reunited, ready to fight whoever betrays us. I don't know. All in all, thoroughly enjoying Mass Effect Legendary Edition so far. But so yeah, played a little bit of Gears 5. Funny. I guess the new operation dropped, where it's kind of like somewhat of a semi-season type deal, where they drop new content, like new maps, characters and stuff like that. So season 7 dropped. The new map is pretty cool. I think I only played it once or twice, but I do like it. Seems to be a mix of mansion and kind of river a little bit. It seems like mainly mansion, but like no mansion, I guess. I don't know. Just I noticed a lot of similarities to the mansion map from like the original Gears games, but it's enjoyable. I do enjoy it. Recently though, I was playing this playlist. I feel like this is recently they implemented this, but I was playing one of the limited time playlists, at least I guess maybe this week, is Golden Gun. But it was throwing me for a loop, man, because Golden Gun is basically Golden Gun where am I gonna excuse me, Golden Gun where you have one shot. Well, it takes a very long time to reload between shots if you don't kill the person with the shot, but basically one shot, if you from the hip, you can't aim. One shot from the hip, if you kill the person, you instantly can shoot again. Kind of similar to gun game a little bit, but it has some deviations. But probably the funniest part though is that when you shoot the gun, it just makes like the gears like characters noise, if they like pew pew noises. So basically when they shoot the gun, it's like pew, like Cole is just saying pew. You'd have to see it in action, but like when it comes into play, it is funny as hell. So that kept me that kept me engaged, to be honest. Just you're shooting it and it doesn't even make a gun sound. It's like somebody saying pew, like as if the gun literally says the voice of the person when it shoots, which is just the best thing that I didn't know I wanted, but now experiencing it, I'm glad I have it in my life. So that's getting played again for sure. But outside of that, I did yet again re-up. Thank you so much. I did re-up. For those that don't know, re-up is pretty much like Prestige in Call of Duty, where if you reach a level 100, you get to start from scratch and, you know, get a little bit more bragging rights and credit to your name. So, which is surprising for Gears. I've actually just been consistently playing the game all this time, you know, here and there, not like religiously necessarily, but so yeah, Gears 5. It's pretty good, man. Pretty good. Also Black Ops Cold War, played a little bit. I keep forcing myself to play it. But you know, they you know, dropped John McClane from Die Hard and Rambo. So they had these cool limited time modes. I dabbled into that a little bit. I played what was it? Die Hard Point. That's I give them credit for that one. Die Hard Point, where it's pretty much hard point mixed with amped or cranked, where the cranked is like you when you kill somebody, you have 30 seconds to kill somebody else or keep the kills going before your timer runs out. But if you are in the hard point, the timer will freeze. And you know, basically a interesting like kind of spin on cranked, mixing it with hard point, which is pretty cool. So enjoyed that. The new map, well, not new map, but map coming back. I think it was only in Black Ops 2. I forgot what it was called, but it came back in this one, Standoff, right? I'm pretty sure Standoff. Pretty dope. I do love the map overall. It's just part of me wish I enjoy the gameplay more for Cold War, but it's I feel like it's still the same story. I'm just like, I'm not like liking it as much as Modern Warfare. Like, part of me is now is like not trying to play Modern Warfare because I know I'm just gonna want to play that more than Cold War, but I don't know. I mean, I bought the battle pass, so now the pressure's on. Now I feel like I got to get all the 100 battle pass tiers. So we'll see how that plays out. I don't know. I may actually give up battle pass tier grinding. We'll see. We'll see. The FOMO is coming back, but yeah. So. And then also been the journey of PS2 hacking continues, or soft modding basically. But so funny story with I think I explained it in a couple some episodes ago, but interesting story with my PS2 network drive that you can mod to have a SATA port to plug in a SATA drive and plug it into the fat PS2. So the one I got was basically questionable in terms of like I got it and it was like the port was like literally bent and I had to bend it back into place and it seemed like it was working. But then come one day it wasn't showing up and I'm like, okay, it's gotta be the questionable SATA port, which after the fact it seemed to be the case. So I basically bought another one. And that one was, man, way better experience. Got it like within a day or something like that. Compared to like 2 weeks, I got this damn thing and it was bent. So much better experience. And modded that SATA port in. Was able to connect it. And everything was way, way better and fine in terms of that. So was able to install the games to the PS2, and man, being able to play like Japanese games and region locked games is pretty awesome, man. I have to say everything works pretty damn well. In terms like the ISOs and stuff like that. So because I own the games, so wink wink. But yeah, so it was very fulfilling that the the old console hacking journey has continued and is now a resounding success. So now we'll eventually maybe start streaming some classic games. That's at least ideally what I want to do, but it's like all these new games coming out that I do want to play as well. So first world problems at its finest, I'm still getting my eye on hacking the original Xbox, but I know that's much more of a very demanding, intricate task. But I'll see. At some point, it's gonna happen. I'll see if I can. I will succeed at that. But yeah, outside of that, that's pretty much generally what I've been up to playing wise. Let's get on what I've been watching, which has been. I did finish Yosuke, which is basically that Netflix anime. Well, not anime. Yeah, I guess you could say anime of the Black Samurai. So did it actually pay off? I think it did. I think the show definitely picked up in the last couple episodes for sure. It was some shocking stuff happened. Some stuff I wasn't expecting. But all in all, I think I did enjoy it. I would watch another season of it. It didn't necessarily. Well, I guess it did end. It ended kind of conclusively in terms of like, and what I mean by that is that it didn't seem to leave much room for a continuation of it that I could see. But I mean, at the same time, it does seem to be open, but it just at least wasn't any direct, I don't know. I not necessarily cliffhanger, but at least something to, I don't know, suspect that may happen in if there was a season 2. I guess there's a few things, but at least not obviously open for another season at least. But I did enjoy it. I thoroughly enjoyed it. I think I was right in terms of it. It will either pay off or like fall flat on its face, and I think it did pay off for the most part. So I do recommend it if you are into that sort of thing. If you like samurais, if you like samurais, if you like black people. It's ignorant. I'm just on an ignorant streak today. If you like samurais, if you like black people, watch Yosuke. There you go. I fully endorse this message. Still watching some Family Guy. I mean, still just it's a comfort at this point now. Just like, it's like, yeah, I just feel like laughing, and I'm just going to Family Guy. I think I'm on season 18 now. I have to talk about one of the recent episodes I saw. So I'm pretty sure this was probably around the Colin Kaepernick, I guess controversy, with taking a knee during the Pledge of Allegiance. So I'm not sure how I felt about that episode. So basically one of the Family Guy episodes was basically a satire about that, where, what was it? Peter Griffin basically he took a knee involuntarily because he was about to shit himself, so he was trying to contain it. And people interpreted it him as taking a knee during the national anthem. So then it caused this whole kerfuffle. You know, it was jabbing jokes. It's like, oh yeah, if I get signed, I could get signed by Nike too if I take a stand against, human rights, whatever. They kind of trivialized it, the actual point of it, but I mean, there was some funny stuff here and there, but I mean, some cases it was kind of pushing a little bit. There was it was kind of trivializing a little bit too much, but one of the few misses when it came to Family Guy, at least so far, or at least a blatant miss, at least recently that comes to mind. But outside of that, it's pretty much been it, at least what I've been watching. So with that being said, that will conclude episode 106 of Switch Sites podcast. If you did enjoy this podcast, feel free to like, rate, and subscribe on your respective platforms. I generally stream this podcast live on Twitch TV/A-Switch, ideally in the evenings. You can also catch the archive of the video podcast as well on youtube.com/A-Switch as well. But until next time, y'all, get your game on. Oh, yeah. Nobody's safe.